Thank you so much for your comment. I'm going to respond to your comment in just different ways, I suppose. I think that, one, I love the fact that you try not to think in absolutes. Let's just define what an absolute is in the context of what we're talking about here. So, an absolute is a value or principle that is regarded as universally valid, which may be viewed without relation to other things. Like good and evil, things people say almost like always, never, those grand things, right? Those are absolutes. And then you gave me an example of your point that sometimes you're responsible for these things. Now, what are these things you're talking about? My point is that you are not responsible for other people's feelings. You are not responsible for their actions, their behaviors. You are not responsible for their triggers, their lack of emotional regulation. You're not responsible for how a person receives or perceives you. Those are the things you're not responsible for. But in the video, I mentioned you are responsible for your feelings, your actions, your behaviors. You're responsible for how you treat yourself and how you treat others. You're responsible for owning your triggers. You're responsible for your own emotional regulation. You're responsible for the things that pertain to you. You cannot manage people. You cannot control people. So what does responsibility actually mean? Responsibility in this sense would have to do with being a state or a fact of being accountable or to be blamed for something. An opportunity or ability to act independently and make decisions without authorization. Or maybe the state or fact of having duty to deal with something or having control over someone. Responsibility has a connotation of ownership. Responsibility has a connotation of agency, of accountability. You are not responsible for how anybody acts, thinks, or feels. With regards to your example, if you kick someone's dog and your friend is upset about it, you're responsible for those feelings. You are in fact responsible for the negative impact of your action. Your action was kicking someone's dog. The result is there was harm done to the dog. So of course you're responsible for that negative impact. But the person may or may not react in a negative or positive way. There's no way for you to control that. So in that sense, you are not responsible for their feelings. I hope that makes sense in all the things I was trying to talk about. Again, you are responsible for your words, your actions, your behaviors. You're responsible for how you treat yourself, how you treat people. You can't manage people, you can't control people, and you cannot even predict how someone is actually going to act because they might show you something different than you think. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts. Bye.